All right, what's going on? What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on? Peace, peace, peace.
Yes. We are here with rktrealestate.com. We got Rashidi and Kayleem, the CEOs of said company. Lucario will not be joining us today. He got some business to take care of. You know what I'm saying? Niggas got shit to do, grown man shit, you feel me?
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah, man. But today's topic is, wants versus needs, the comparisons and the complex differences and all that shit. And we got up in here. We got Monogamous Player, we got AJ Lino, Mathis R, we got Jay. So guys, put a question in the chat if you have any questions about money, career, any type of thing, or just motivation or whatever y'all got, man. Cause this is also Lucario motivation channel. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all got anything y'all want to ask a question about as far as life, money, budgeting, credit repair, life insurance, stocks, mutual funds, all that type of shit, man. Put a Q in the chat and ask your question. So I'm whoever want to go first, go ahead. Let's talk about wants and needs. Let's go.
Yeah, go ahead, Rod. Take it away.
Yeah, man. Ultimately, in today's society, a lot of people confuse wants for needs, and that's a big problem. And
Right.
eat your pockets. So the point of today's topic is really just understanding what's a want versus a need. You wanting to go buy fast food instead of cooking, that's a want. That's not a need. Meaning that if you're gonna go spend $20 or $30 on a light restaurant, you might have been able to go ahead and went to a grocery store and I bought some more groceries with that and stretch your dollar a lot further. And something as simple as that, that's a want versus a need. Now it's okay to treat yourself, but the point is identifying what a truly wants and what a truly needs, so you can actually budget and keep up with inflation and what's going on in the economy. Too many times people are getting wants instead of needs. I mean, as simple as buying clothes. You're going shopping. Okay, you need clothes, but are you buying the necessities? The basic T-shirts, boxers, XYZ. Well, you going to the store buying T-shirts, boxers, a new jacket, new outfits, XYZ. Determining the want and the need is crucial in that situation. That's the difference between spending $50 and spending $500.
Right.
It just gets laid and goes deeper and deeper on wants versus needs, and being able to differentiate the two.
And then two, even just to piggyback off that, even the brand of those items, can determine a lot too, because you could want, like I don't know, give me a name brand T-shirt. Like you could want a Givenchy T-shirt, but you could still settle for a Nike T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, was it two different prices when it comes to, but you still got a shirt. So then a lot of times, and our wants are just temporary. Our needs are like permanent. We need certain things in life, like you said, clothes, food, shelter. We need to make sure that we pay our utilities because we need water, we need electricity. You can't really drive without insurance. You need the insurance. You need, in a lot of places, you need a car. There's some places you just may want a car.
Right.
For example, I'm in New York, right? You don't need a car in New York. It's a want in New York.
Facts.
But you cross that Verrazano Bridge, you need a car. There's no way around it. You got to get around. You know what I'm saying? When you go Jersey further down south, you need cars. You know what I'm saying? So in different areas, that plays a factor too on your wants and your needs. And like Rashidi said, it's important that we identify it because that's what keeps us, below the totem pole. And, because you don't want to really be in that situation. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of times we put ourselves in this situation because we don't identify it. And somebody like myself or Rashidi, we help you identify it. Go ahead and book that consultation. Why? Because we'll go through all the different necessities. And
right.
Then after we get your necessities out the way, we'll make room for your need. We'll make room for your wants.
Facts.
And eventually you'll get to the things that you want, but your needs come first. And a lot of times we try to put both of them together. And as a result, we'll always be at a certain level because we don't realize, we don't prioritize our needs first and then our wants later.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just say this too, like what I'm hearing from what you're talking about is basically budgeting, right? And you guys specialize in that, right? So get into more of how like if somebody was to call you up for a consultation or somebody was to be working with you and you're trying to get the budget done, like what's the process? What's the priorities? What's the protocol for getting a budget?
Got you. So one of the first things that we do is because everybody's goals are different, so we want to be able to make sure that we meet your goals, right? And how we do that is we fill out what we call a financial needs analysis, or AKA a financial lifestyle strategy. And based off of that FLS, it'll let us know, what's the most important thing to you, what's the least important thing to you. Do you have a 401k? Or do you have an emergency fund? Do you have any type of debt? Who's the lender? What's the remaining balance? Everything is specified. Everything is detailed. Then we go through your monthly expenses. Like I said earlier, your mortgage, your car payments, your utilities. Do you pay, how much do you pay in entertainment? Whether that's you going out with some friends too, if you have Hulu or Netflix. We go through all your monthly expenses, and then we match that up with your monthly/annual income. When we do those ratios, we'll let it be known how much money you actually do have with discretionary income after all your bills are said and done. How much money do you have left over? Based off of that remaining number, then it'll let us know how we can, I guess, cut back on certain areas, because sometimes we're just not aware of how much we spend on food every month, whether it's through the grocery store or when you just go out to eat. You may think you spend $400 a month, but it's really $750. It's really $800. So then we bring awareness to every area that you spend, and then from there we try to help narrow it down on how we can cut back on certain areas to help you budget better, to help you save more money and put that money into different places.
Sounds good, man. I got a system, man.
Yeah.
Rash, you want to add to that?
Yeah, everything Katie went over exactly what we do, and then from there we have the conversations on what you need to cut back. Because the other part of it is that unfortunately, about 50% of the people are in the red, meaning that they are actually overspending what they're bringing in. So a lot of times we get into situations where it's like, hey, you make $2,500 a month, but you're spending $2,800 a month.
Correct.
So when we reach those situations, we really take a deep dive and looking at your bank statements and really going over what we can cut back on, because you have to make a change, to actually save money. So we have that conversation of what's driving your lifestyle. And that's where it gets, other things come into play, where if you have kids, you're paying child support, you got to drive someone to pick somebody up, all those things come into play. And we kind of make a game plan based off of what's actually going on in your life that's contributing to this overspending and how we can fix it.
Absolutely.
Right. And what do you do for, like, what do you do when you do your best to, like, set up a budget and coach people and let them see show them what it is, and they still don't listen? Like, what happened to those people?
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, eventually we drop them, if we're being honest with you.
Right.
The reality situation is, time is money, and the type of service we're given, we'll never get paid the amount we should be getting paid. That's the reality situation. So, a lot of slogans out there fake, like, okay, the time you waste with me, I'm missing time with helping other families. That's the truth for us. So it's at the end of the day, like, if you're joking around or you're not taking things serious, then we got to let you go. And we need the door open. When you're ready, come back around. But that's we normally give people 1 to 2 times max to mess up, because things happen in life. But once you're going beyond 1 or 2 times, we have that uncomfortable conversation. Like, listen, you're not ready right now. It's best we not waste each other's time. And when you're ready to come back around.
Right. It's interesting, because I'm almost sure that there are institutions like this, or maybe there are ways that you could set up your banking, to automatically pay your bills, and to like a set it and forget it type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because for example, there's this app that I mess with called Flex. You guys ever heard of it?
No, I never heard of Flex. No.
Okay, so basically there was a time where shit was tight, like money was tight, right? And I decided, so I came across this program, or actually the place that I rent from, they introduced this program one of these times that I went and paid my rent on the app that I use to pay my rent. Because all these companies, they got their own shit where you could just literally go on the app, pay your rent, and you could set up maintenance calls and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So everything is in one place. So they introduced this thing to me called Flex, where what it is you sign up and they pay half of your rent for you. So on the 15th, they pay half your rent, and then on the 30th, they pay the other half.
Mm.
So your bank account don't feel a big of a hit at the end of the month.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Now, what I'm saying is, I'm like, and this even might be this might even be an idea for you guys as far as a company to hold lazy people by the hand, and you literally like you can have a system set up, right, that they have access to, or they can at least see, like, transparency, so they know you're not jipping them or whatever, right? And of course, you go and get a percentage of whatever goes down. But the bottom line is, imagine if you had a system set up where, it's some people out there that just don't know how to budget for shit. They always smoking and buying weed when they shouldn't. They always going out to eat when they shouldn't, or they always sports bet gambling and all this shit when they shouldn't. Yeah. So imagine the type of thing where it's like, you know what? You can't be trusted. Allow your fucking direct deposit for your job to come to me, to my company, and I pay all of your bills and I give you a fucking allowance. Imagine that. Imagine grown ass people moving around society and you give them an allowance, and that's the money, and because they just want the money that they can spend. They don't give a fuck about all that other shit. They just literally want money that they can spend. So you set you show them everything. The budget is set, this, that, and the third. Only difference is that your direct deposit comes to me, and I'm providing you a service where I'm responsible for your life, and you don't have to be. And I give you what's left after all your bills are paid. And so you could just go out and spend as much money as you want.
That's interesting.
Because let me tell you something. There are accountants for like celebrities and rich folk that do this type of shit. Hey, I'm sure there's a song Drake. This song by Drake where he says something about, he mentioned some woman's name and he was like, with all this money coming in, I got to tell such and such to increase my budget. You understand what I'm saying?
I think I know. I think I know what song you're talking about too.
Yeah. You probably know what I'm talking about. And what I'm saying, these rich people who got these busy lives, they have people that manage their money for real. And so all they do is their accountant literally disperses a certain amount of money into their, like, I guess, charge card account or whatever the hell it is. And that's the money that they spend. And they be like, listen, you can spend up to $5,000 a day or whatever it is. You get what I'm saying? And I'm saying, you guys are a up and coming financial institution, but that's something that you might want to consider on a more like regular person level. Like I said, these rich people do that shit, but you might want to consider that for like certain type of people, where it's like, nigga, you can't be trusted with your own fucking paycheck. So send it over to RKT Real Estate. We'll set your budget. We'll pay your bills, and we'll give you a fucking allowance weekly. You understand what I'm saying? Or we'll give you an allowance every time you get paid. You feel me? So that's something you might want to think about, because some people, no matter what you do, them niggas is gonna be living paycheck to paycheck their whole fucking life.
Right.
That's true.
Because no matter what happens, there's always a new pair of Jordans. There's always a new pair of Balenciagas. Yeezy, Kanye just came out with some shit.
Made $21 million off of it,
bro.
After the Super Bowl.
The other day I saw, it was called the Yeezy shoe sock or some shit. It was literally a pair of socks with two rubber
pieces. Yes, I've seen them. Yeah.
And niggas is buying this shit, and the shit costs like $260 for one pair.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
What? So I'm just saying, there's always motherfuckers out there that's gonna be on that bullshit.
Right. That's true.
That's true.
But and then at the same time, well, shit, you gonna have to fucking lock them in. Make sure they don't fucking apply for any credit cards or do no dumb shit and get into more debt.
Right. Oh man.
It's gonna be some type of situation where you're gonna have to figure out these people. You're gonna have to figure out some type of agreement with these people, or you're gonna have to have, okay, this person's, like, how they have in a restaurant, they'd be like, do not serve this guy. You're gonna have to send this person's social security. All the other fucking credit card companies would be like, do not let this nigga apply for a credit card. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But somebody says, Miles, how come me and you have never partied before? Oh, Diddy, that works. That works. Well, there's a lot of reasons why you and I have never partied before, and we never will, my nigga. Like real talk, real talk.
Yo.
You see?
There you go, son.
This nigga here. But guys, if y'all got any questions, though, please put a question in the chat. If y'all got any questions, man, RKT Appraisals, they are financial professionals. They are here to help. They do credit repair. They do budgeting. They do real estate. They do life insurance. Shit, they'll even get your if you want to get your will set up. They'll get you into. You guys do trust? You guys do trusts?
Yeah, we do will and trust. Yeah, we do will and trust. Yeah.
Will and trust. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then soon we're doing property management as well. Soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
For that process right now, but that's the next up and coming thing that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because it's a lot of ways to make money out here, man. There's a lot of different ways to make money out here, and there's a lot of different ways where if you just move with your money a certain way, you'll be making more money. You understand? I had a client the other day. I put him on. He was telling me that he saves a certain amount of money a week, but he was gonna put it in a fucking savings account. And I told him about Vanguard, and it blew his fucking mind. You understand? But shout out to him, he got right on it. Like the day I told him about it is the day that he signed up for his Vanguard account, and I was like, "Well, shout out to you, nigga," because I be telling niggas this shit, and they don't. Bro, I told my own family about this shit, and niggas is still like, "Huh? What?" Like, and I'm like, I told you about this shit like 6 years ago. You know how much money you could have fucking saved and how much interest you could have compounded on your money, but whatever. Niggas move at their own pace. But I had a client the other day. The same day I told him about it, nigga signed up the same day. I was like, "Yo, good for you, bro." You know what I'm saying? So we got Kason Hoyula. He says, "What is a trust?" So guys, can you explain what a trust is?
Yeah, so pretty much trust is, if you have assets, property, that type of stuff, you put it in a trust. So therefore, once you die, it's tax benefits in the situation. So, if you have property, cars, any type of assets, it's like a safe house to where you can leave it for someone. You can't get sued for your own direct personal property. So for instance, if you have a home, you pass away, you get sued for certain things. It gets taxed a certain way because even if you leave it for your kids, it gets taxed a certain way. But if you put it in a trust, it's literally kind of like the way the word sounds, trust, where it protects your asset. You save on a lot of tax benefits. And, ultimately, it's the best thing to put that you have assets and people can't come after you directly because it's in a trust.
Right. It's basically a legal document by definition. It's a legal binding document, like Rashid was saying, that protects all your assets.
Right.
And it protects you from the government,
Right,
so,
exactly.
That's pretty much what it is. But it's good to have if you have any assets that it goes hand in hand with a will. So that you if you have children or if you have any possessions at all, right? To whether it's a house, a car, jewelry, a painting, a table, clothes, whatever it is, and you want to be able to say this is even to say, when you pass away, who do you want to pull the plug? All of these things, you want to have in place, and that will, it gives clear instructions on how you want things to be dispersed once you're no longer here. So will and trust go hand in hand. You need to have both of them in place along with the life policy. These things, it eliminates family fights, arguments. It eliminates all of these things because there's nothing to talk about. Everything's there sitting and writing.
Right.
So something that's important that everybody should have.
And I'll say that, so guys, I'm about to buy a house soon. I might have to do something like that. Well, okay, here's one of the major benefits of a trust, guys. So a trust is basically like insulation for your assets. And what I mean is this. The reason why you want to insulate, meaning to protect your assets, you want to put a barrier between your assets and the government, right? And so the reason why the trust is so good is because the trust basically looks at all of your assets, all the money that you have, your bank accounts, your real estate, all the stuff, anything that you legally put into the trust, meaning on the document, the legal binding document of the trust, everything that you have. So let's just say you have a house. Let's just say you have one piece of property, and that one piece of property, you have some renters in there right now, and they don't want to go nowhere, and they pay $1,000 in rent, and everything with the house is already paid for, right? So you're collecting $1,000 in rent every month from this property. Now, if you die without a trust, right? The government can look at your will, and even if your will says, okay, you're going to pass this down to your son. So based on the will, you're saying that you're going to bequeath the property to your son, but it's not in a trust. So what's going to happen is the government is going to look at your son and say, well, you have to suffer what's called capital gains tax because you gained a large sum of money from an inheritance, and since the ownership is being transferred from your dead relative to you, we have to tax that money. Okay, and so they're going to tax the property, and well, I don't know if they're going to tax the rent because the rent is just going to come to you, but they're going to tax that property. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so if the property is worth like 200,000, they're gonna probably charge you like 100. You probably gonna have to pay like 100,000 taxes. You get what I'm saying? So, if you had a trust though, and in the trust it said, okay, this trust belongs to me, my kids, and a couple of my relatives. This person, that person, this person, that person. Meaning that based on the trust, you got beneficiaries. That means the property basically gonna stay where it is inside the trust and just keep appreciating value. And it's not gonna be now. The property is now gonna be yours under the trust, but it's not gonna be considered a capital gain. So the government won't be able to tax you on the transfer of inheritance because there's no real transfer. It's still just stuck in the trust. So the government can't come tax the property. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why the trust is so good, because it insulates the asset from government interference. You understand? And and that's a part of the reason why, like, a lot of people, you could put almost anything in a trust. You could put, intellectual property into a trust. You could put, real estate property, like portfolios of money, stocks, investments, bonds, like anything that you got that is worth, like any type of asset that is worth something. You could, even art, paintings, NFTs, whatever, I don't even know about all that hype shit, but NFTs, Bitcoin, whatever you got, if you put it inside a trust and you say, under this trust, I own it, but it goes to if something happened to me, it goes to my family. These are the beneficiaries. And you can have, primary beneficiaries, secondary, because while it's in the trust, it's going to keep growing value, and your family is going to keep being able to benefit from the interest and the appreciation of the asset itself. You understand? And then so if the primary dies, then the secondary, and then so on and so forth. And if it's a family trust, then that means it's going to go on and on and on through perpetuity through the family on some generational wealth shit. If you set it up right and you get the right lawyers to write all of the stipulations and the laws down. So that's why the trust is so good, because if you just transfer the ownership of a house to your kid, and this is your kid we're talking about, the government still gonna come in and be like, well, that house is worth $500,000. We gonna need 250. You understand what I'm saying? $500,000. We're gonna need $250,000, and that's some bullshit. So it's way better if you get the trust to insulate your assets, especially if you're trying to like do some generational wealth, or you're trying to pass down, your assets, like, and your asset could be a business as well. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got a business, like for example, if you got a business where you wrote a book and it's a bestseller's book, and you still to this day you still at least sell, and it could be big or small, but to this day you still sell about 50 copies every year of that book, just because it's just a book that is people just want to read that book for generations and generations to come. Like a book like, Think and Grow Rich or Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You could put that shit in a trust and your family can benefit from that shit for generations and generations. You see what I'm saying? So even intellectual property you could put in a trust and the government can't tax it. That's why the trust is so dope.
Well
and
said. That was good. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Dave G says, what would you guys say is the best way to use credit to your advantage?
The best way is to book an appointment on the website and have a 30-minute consultation. But credit can be used many ways. I mean, that's deep. That's a vague question, but to keep it simple, the more credit you have, the more you can spend, and the more you can obtain credit. Meaning that if you have a $5,000 credit card and you use it the right way, you can get that credit card limit to $20,000, which allows you to, spend $4,000 responsibly on something else and invest that into something else. So that's a simple way of looking at credit. Is that the more credit you have, the more you can buy, because the more you handle money responsibly, the more they give you,
Right.
the more they front you. And then the more they front you, the more you can invest in things like getting a property, or, even with the index universal life policies, we overfund a year policy. So you're making extra money on interest. So there's many things credit can lead to. Getting a car, getting a super great interest rate where you're paying very little interest, having a low payment. So credit opens the door for everything. Everything, buying furniture, the Raymore and Flanagan, you have good credit, you might be able to pay it off, the couch in 18 months, no interest. As simple as something like that, credit. So there's many ways credit can help you out.
This nigga said Raymore and Flanagan. What the hell?
It's not like y'all go to Raymore and Flanagan.
What? Rashidi? Oh, okay, yeah. To go. But yeah. Credit all depends on what you're trying to do, bro. You can't, you gotta, like you said, schedule a consultation, because it depends on what you're trying to do. It depends on where you're getting this credit from. It depends on your credit score. It depends on your eligibility. It depends on a whole lot of shit, bro. So it depends. It really, like, when niggas ask a question and you be like, well, it depends. And you're like, well, nigga, that don't help. Well, that's the bottom line. Like, you gotta go to rktrealestate.com or call 973-420-5028 and schedule a free, 30 minute?
30 minutes, yep.
Yeah, a free 30-minute consultation, and they will go over your goals and whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, and then tell you the best way to use credit to your advantage. All right. So Kason says, I'm about to buy a house soon. Might have to do something like that. Yeah, and then of course, C talking about the inheritance tax. Yes, that's what I was talking about. They call it capital gains, or they call it inheritance tax. That's a fact. Let me see. Waiting for someone to ask if you could put Jordans in the trust. Yo,
you can. You can.
You can. You actually can. I mean, of course, it's all a matter of, okay, I don't know all of the sneakerhead rules, but I'm assuming if you have a pair of rare Yeezys or Jordans and they're untouched and they're in the case and they qualify as a collector's item that is worth a certain amount of money, of course you can. Of course, you got to have paperwork that's associated with it. It has to be, you got to probably take it to the people at StockX and let them, evaluate it and all that other shit. But of course you can. Anything that is worth something to someone else can be considered an asset, and you can put it in a trust. That is for damn sure. And for those that know or don't know, y'all know I got my soap, right? So here's the thing. I trademarked the moniker masculine identity, right? So that is now a trademark. That is considered intellectual property. Now, when I get good and ready, and I'm still the same lawyer that I did my trademark with, I'm gonna have him put masculine identity and the truth is inside you in a trust. Like those patent applications are going to be inside the trust. So for years to come in perpetuity, if somebody wants to use the term masculine identity on a product for commercial purposes, they're going to have to come see my nephew or whoever's connected to that trust. You understand what I'm saying? And, so anything that is worth something to somebody, it can be put in a trust, man. Or you can, though, for collector's editions. Of course. Probably not the Jordans on your feet, nigga, because they stink. But if you got some shits that nobody wore yet and they are considered collector's items, hell yeah. Government moving sideways. Kason said, like Jay-Z said, wealth can be made with credit. Yeah, you can make, of course, because you could use credit to buy a house. You know what I'm saying? You could use credit to buy assets. You could use credit to buy real estate. You could use credit to buy, machinery for your business to get your business off the ground, certain other things. So hell yeah. He said he fucks with Bob's Furniture.
Ain't nothing wrong, Bobs. Ain't nothing wrong, Bobs. You know, they got financing too.
Rooms to go in IKEA, nigga. No front on IKEA. Like there are some pieces at IKEA that are dope. I used to have a bed from IKEA. Let me tell you something about IKEA. IKEA is not the best furniture, but it has to do with the accessories that you buy with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? I bought a bed. It don't look like nothing, but it was one of the strongest and most comfortable beds I ever slept on because it had this really intricate skeletal box spring system.
Mm-hmm.
And that shit was so fucking dope, man. What I do with I gave it to somebody. Anyway. But we about to wrap it up, guys. Any closing arguments, gentlemen?
Yeah, I mean, just go to the site, book an appointment, www.rktrealestate.com. We can help you with all your financial needs, including everything we talked about on the show today. So actually go to book an appointment.
Facts.
And then lastly, I would say our next virtual event. Last week was dope. Our romance and finance event, that was dope. We have another one because everybody asked when we doing a part 2. So part 2 is going to be February 25th. It's going to be virtual. It's going to be the same link. So then next week we'll be able to post that same link that we had last week on. So then, if you guys want to check that out, go ahead and check us out. I'll get the exact time, but it's definitely February 25th, which is I believe the last Sunday in February.
Okay, cool. So on the next show, make sure you have all the links and all the cool shit.
Yep.
Now, one question, like before, will there be? I mean, chicks? Will there be females on
Yes.
that?
Yes. There was last time, and there will be.
There was last time. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right.
Anticipating double. So
we're anticipating double. Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah,
that's what's up, though. All right. So what's it called? Finance.
Romance and finance.
Romance and finance. Okay. All right. Guys, get your mouthpiece ready. Get your you know what I'm saying? RKTrealestate.com. Go to or call 973-420-5028, man, or go to www.rktrealestate.com. Schedule a free consultation, guys. Stop playing games. These guys are here to help. They are young, hungry, up and coming entrepreneurs, and that's why my man Rashidi's always late to the show, man. This nigga's wheeling and dealing every day, man.
He ain't lying.
I ain't lying. I be getting this nigga, we made the show 5:00 just for you, and he always fucking late, bro. But because niggas out here doing their thing, you know what I'm saying? So understand, guys. Look, you can't do everything in life. You can't do everything. You understand? Like I said, you got a life to live. You got to go to work. You got kids to feed. You got to do your thing. Sometimes you got to delegate responsibilities to other people.
For sure.
You understand? You need somebody to help you fix that credit, then holla at these dudes. If you need somebody to help you with that budget, holla at these dudes. Shit. Look, I used to edit and do all my YouTube videos. Now I got somebody that finds the content for me to react to. I talk my shit and just send it to him. He does all the editing and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And my fucking YouTube channel has never been better. It's like, yo, Miles, shout out to you. You had 15,000 subscribers. You had 20,000 subscribers. And if it was just me doing that shit, I would still be struggling at probably 6,000. You get what I'm saying? So, don't a lot of us, we tend to forget that being cheap can get very expensive. All right, guys. So
absolutely.
And we're only telling you to schedule a free consultation. So what could it hurt? So holla at these dudes, rktrealestate.com, and that'll be that, man. And so God willing, we'll be here next week to give you out another Money Game show, and that'll be it, man. Yeah, appreciate all of you guys, and thanks for